I'm Dr. Lindsay Matthews, your BirthFit founder and CEO. One of the greatest questions we get at BirthFit has to do with urinary incontinence. I'm going to show you a few things that I recommend to my clients, patients, and practice members. But first, I want to get on the same page. I want to clear the air. More times than not, majority, 9 times out of 10, like a lot, people that present with urinary incontinence have a too tight of a pelvic floor. Let me say that again. Their pelvic floor is too tight. They cannot relax the muscles of their pelvic floor. And usually when I have a conversation with them and begin to unpack some of their history, somewhere along the way, somebody has told them that Kegels were the end-all be-all answer, so contracting their pelvic floor, like squeezing it, or somebody has told them, as you inhale, great, everything lowers. As you exhale, I need you to suck everything up and in, bring your belly button to your spine, bring your pelvic floor all the way to the bottom of your throat, and that's going to solve all your issues. That's not the case. That doesn't work. If we can contract our pelvic floor, but we cannot relax our pelvic floor, that's only half the ball game. That means we do not have access along that entire range of motion. We need to be able to relax our pelvic floor. Also, more often than not, our pelvic floor is significantly correlated with the state of our nervous system. So, not only do I see these people come in with urinary incontinence that have been instructed to suck everything up and in, bring their belly button to their spine, but they're also living in a state of sympathetic dominance, meaning they're in a chronic state of fight or flight. And it's like an underlying tone. They're just tense all around. So they cannot relax, and it's evident not only in the way they breathe, their breathing patterns, their chest breathers. They may have like really not great eye contact. They might not feel grounded here on earth, but that's one of the reasons for urinary incontinence, that this is like in this protective mode. And so we need to learn to relax and also explore the range of motion of our nervous system. So the first exercise I give is breathing. So I usually start with the patient or client or whatever you call them, lying on their backs, feet hip distance apart, breathing just like this. I usually have them put their hands on their lower belly and making sure they can feel the ground beneath their spine and breathe in through their nose and out through their nose. That's very important. And so I'm going to take 2-3 breaths just to show you what it looks like. Now, if this position is not that comfortable, you can have them put their legs up on the couch or a box or an ottoman or something and take the pressure off the lower back. Totally fine. Either way, they've got to get comfortable breathing in through their nose and out through their nose. If they need to put a little tape over their mouth, do so. And if they're having trouble, like relaxing in that position, have them exhale longer than their inhales. Maybe they're inhaling for a count of 4, 6, or 8, and exhaling for a count of 6, 8, or 10. Now, if they get decent there, then we move to this exercise, and this is one of my favorites. You're going to sit against the wall in a straddle position. So this straddle is not like gymnastic straddle where it's like, You don't have to worry about pointing your toes or anything. But get to where your booty's against the wall and at least your lower back's against the wall, because you want to have that as support. You're going to take this ball, and you can get this ball, this gorgeous ball or a ball like it, on Amazon or any rehab store. Blow it up to about 80%, and then you're going to sit on it. You're going to sit right, put the ball right in between your sit bones. There we go. Now, this is giving you tactile feelings, tactile cues. When we inhale, we're inhaling 360 degrees. Our diaphragm and our pelvic floor are parallel to each other. When we inhale, everything lowers. When we exhale, everything returns back to neutral naturally. So, we're on this ball, and ideally you start to feel this space, the perineum, the tissue, everything down there, lightly touch and move along this ball. So I'm going to show you maybe what 3 or 4 breaths look like. Let's see. You can watch the waistband here. All right, both of those exercises I give for homework for at least 2 weeks for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Everybody in this world could benefit from 5 minutes of breathing. All right? Now, what I want you to think about is our diaphragm and our pelvic floor. As we inhale, everything naturally lowers. As we exhale, everything naturally returns back to neutral. There's no sucking up and in. There's no contraction. Just let the body do what it's designed to do. Trust me, you will see change in that 2 weeks. Now, as things start to relax and work itself out, then I will introduce some core stuff. And I hate to use the word core, but core stability, not like crunches, 6-pack core, but also glute stuff. And I'm going to show you the version of a glute bridge that I love. And this is only after they've done the pelvic floor relaxation on the ball. So we go back to this supine lying position. We're going to lift our toes. We're going to drive our heels into the earth and pull our heels back towards us. So even with that, you should start to feel your hamstrings turn on. You might even get a cramp. If you get a cramp, just straighten your leg. Boom, boom. Toes up, heels down, pull your heels back. Now, you're going to tuck your pelvis. See that? And then you're going to lift up one vertebrae at a time. When you're elevated enough for today, you're just going to take a breath. In through your nose and out through your nose. And then you're going to lower down one vertebrae at a time. Uncurl your tailbone. Flatten your feet. That's 1 rep. Yes, these are long reps. I'm going to do another for you. So, toes up. Drive your heels into the ground, pull your heels back, tuck your pelvis, and then lift one vertebrae at a time. Whew. All right, so that is my version of a glute bridge that I love. I introduced that after the breathing. The last thing I will show you today is the high bear. This is a really great exercise for urinary incontinence and also if really anything for the pelvic floor. So you're going to start in tabletop. If somebody's not comfortable in going high bear, tabletop is always an option. Start in tabletop, curl your toes, lift your knees off the ground, and then push back to high bear. The difference between high bear and downward dog is that you have this neutral spine. You're basically inverted with a neutral spine. You can move your legs, move whatever, to whatever feels comfortable for you. So this is probably about where I would be for high bear. Next, I'm going to take 3 diaphragm breaths here. All right. Those are the same breaths that I took on the ball and lying on the ground with my knees bent. You can use those too. Also, like I said, if high bear is a little intimidating for some people at first because you are inverted, use tabletop. Tabletop works just as well. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Don't hesitate to email info@birthfit.com, and I hope this helps some of you out.